You don't need a new workout plan. You need a system that connects training, nutrition, and progress long term. Welcome to part 3 of my mini series in how to get you to get in shape and then stay in shape for life. Today we're going to be covering the exact system that I've helped guys get in shape, get in ridiculous shape, but then also stay in shape for life. This is guys that have done photo shoots, powerlifting competitions, dropped over 100 pounds of body fat, and then still kept it off 5 years later. And you might be thinking, why listen to me? Because I've seen what happens when guys chase novelty rather than mastery. I've helped hundreds of lifters and I've helped them transform their physiques and amplify their life after years of failed attempts. And these guys have been through fucking every summer shred challenge, 8-week fucking challenge, 12-week challenge on the market, right? They've done it all. You know, they've tried the influencer workouts, all that bullshit, and they're still stuck. But what I teach fixes that permanently. I had a client called Max, Big Max Orchard. So he tried everything, push-pull legs, single body part splits, full body workouts, keto, fucking you name it, he'd tried it. He'd progress for a few weeks, then stall, and then start all over again. And he'd do this again and again. And in the end, his confidence just be rock bottom with knowing like, what the hell do I do next? When we built out his training and nutrition inside the blueprint that I used, everything else changed. Instead of switching plans every few weeks, he fucking finally understood what he's doing this month, next month, the month after, how it all connects, how his training connects with his nutrition, and why we're actually doing things. Because of this, he actually stopped starting over and actually started building long-term momentum. There's a big phrase that sticks with me from one of the goats in powerlifting, Ed Cohen. And what he said was, guys, and I'm going to butcher this, I'm sure I will do, but what he says is guys will typically overestimate what they can do in a month and underestimate what they can do in a year. And whether it's 1 year compared to 5 years, 1 month compared to 1 year, whatever it may be, typically guys will get over obsessed in the short term because that's all they can feel, but they'll underappreciate what they're capable of long term. And a system like this just helps tie it all together so you can actually see what's coming. It feels more real, that goal in 12 months time. So something that's key that we do with all guys, and this is exactly how my blueprint works, is the first 2 to 4 weeks, we do what's called a behavior change phase. So rather than most coaches or what most guys will do is where you'll fucking say, right, it's go time, fucking full of piss and vinegar, I want to get stuck in, I'm going to get shredded. We actually just say, right, you have no business doing that until you can actually fucking go to bed on time, mate. Until you can actually do all 4 workouts, till you can actually weigh your food out, check in on time, weigh your body weight daily every morning. So that's what we do. That first 4 weeks is literally just about that. Taking your supplements, getting your hydration in, like it's all about the inputs rather than the outputs. I'm not trying to get you to focus on losing weight yet. Let's just see if you can actually stick to a food plan. Let's actually see if you can track your macros if that's what you'd rather do than a food plan. Let's see if you can actually get in the gym and log your workouts. And what we typically see is in these first 2 to 4 weeks, guys will just make sick progress anyway because it's the first time they've been consistent in years and they're not overthinking it. From there, typically most guys that come into the program, they have at least 5 kilos of body fat to lose, even if they want to go into a gaining phase, okay? For the guys that want to drop a lot of fat, obviously we get stuck into that after the behavior change phase as well. So typically 2 to 4 week behavior change phase, then it's anywhere from an 8-week all the way up to a 20-week fat loss phase. In this phase, I aim for guys to lose around 1% of body weight per week until they actually start to get quite lean, such as visible abs. Then it might drop down to 0.5% of body weight per week, all the way down to 0.25% of body weight per week if they are shredded. Because ultimately, the leaner you get, if you're still trying to lose the same weight just as quick, you will then start to lose muscle tissue as well. Or that's where the risk is. The reason why we don't go longer than 20 weeks is because I want guys to stay mentally motivated. This is just as much a mental thing as it is a physical thing. Guys oftentimes will not lose momentum dropping body fat after 20 weeks because the scale weight's not moving down or the food's not working. It's because they've got fucking bored and it's going on too long. So we go 20 weeks maximum aggressive if you've got a lot of weight to lose, bottom end 8 weeks, and then we'll go into what we call a reverse diet phase or straight into a lean gain phase, depending what's most relevant. If someone's got a lot of weight to lose, we will do that 20-week fat loss phase, go into an 8 to 12-week reverse diet, build the calories back up to usually around 1,000 calories more than the bottom end of the fat loss phase, but the body weight actually stays exactly the same during this phase because we do it slowly. Metabolism creeps back up, hormones get in a good spot, and then we've got cards up our sleeve for fat loss phase number 2. Okay, once again, depends on duration, depending on how much fat you've got to lose. And for the guys that have already got lean enough in that first fat loss phase, we might do a small reverse diet of 6 to 8 weeks, make sure they're in a position where they're still relatively lean or very lean, and then we're going to a gaining phase where we might want to gain 1% of body weight per month, which I know you might be thinking slow as fuck, but I work with primarily natural athletes, and you are not going to build more muscle by gaining 2, 3, 4% of body weight per month. You're just going to get fat. So that's what we do. After we've done all that stuff, and let's say, for example, someone just wants to get in shape and stay in shape, we will do what's called a sustainability phase. So after they've done, whether it takes 1 fat loss phase or 2, after they've done the last fat loss phase they need to do, they've got as lean as they want to be. Ideally, I like guys to get a little bit leaner than they want to, because then it's easier, you've got a bit of a buffer zone. We'll then do 1 more reverse diet and then the sustainability phase. This sustainability phase is where we are pulling you away from tracking every finite detail, where we're pulling you away from weighing out all your foods, okay? And also pulling you away from weighing your body weight every day. And what we should see is at the end of a 8-12 week sustainability phase, you're in a position where you don't need to track anything, you don't need to weigh anything, you're eating intuitively, and you're still in shape. And that's how we get guys to stay in shape for life. When we look back at Max, after years of spinning his wheels, the guy trained more than 5 years. I think Max had trained for about 8 years before he came into the program. And for the first time in years, he was finally seeing epic fucking results. And the reason is we stuck to the blueprint. Lesson here, guys, most men do not need another plan. They need a framework to follow over the long term. The blueprint that I use is that framework. It's how we align everything together. Your training, your nutrition, your supplementation, the whole shebang. No random tweaks, no restarts, just one clear system that compounds progress. And this gets outlined completely whenever guys come into the program. They'll get what's called a plan of attack document that runs through all this, and we call it the skeleton plan. It is subject to change based on things that come up, but that is what we go with. Think of it like a feedback loop. Every session informs the next one. Every phase benefits the next one. The leaner you are at the back end of your fat loss phase, your gaining phase is going to be more effective. The better you stick to your reverse diet, the better the sustainability phase is going to be, or the next fat loss phase. This is what we call phase potentiation. But if you don't even know what's coming next, it's so hard to put the work in sometimes. And when you've got that clarity, consistency just stops being hard. It becomes automatic. So if you've been hopping between programs, chasing new plans, or constantly restarting, stop. You don't need something new, you need something connected. That's what my blueprint gives you. Right, if you've stayed here till the end, you can have access to my community for free. It's on Circle. It's gonna have webinars on getting shredded, building muscle, what supplements to take. I'm gonna put my own personal log on there. There's gonna be a mini course. There's all sorts of awesome, cool shit that's gonna help you get fucking shredded, get in shape, stay in shape, build muscle, get strong, whatever it is. I'm gonna put a paywall on it soon, but for you, it's absolutely free. All you need to do is send me the word blueprint on Instagram, and I'll give you free access to my community. Anyway, next up, I'm gonna run you through how we fine tune everything with data from check-ins, blood work, and general communication. That's part 4, the precision protocol. I'll see you there.